So I've seen a couple of videos about something called an INFJ stare or an INFJ gaze, and that some people find it unnerving, unsettling, off-putting, and just like creepy. And so I want to address it because all these videos I've seen are written by somebody who's clearly not an INFJ and doesn't sound like they've actually talked to any INFJs about what this is. So let's start with what it is and what's real, and then we'll talk about what's really going on. First of all, what is an INFJ? An INFJ is a Myers-Briggs personality type, I being introverted, N being intuitive, F being feeling, J being judging. What's important to note here is that an INFJ is considered the rarest personality type. It's between 1 and 2% of the population in general. In men, it's thought to be about 1.5 to 1% of the male population. INFJs are very intuitive and empathetic, and also they see things and understand the world in a different way. And a lot of times we have a gut feeling about something, our intuition, and we can't necessarily describe how we know it, but very oftentimes, our instincts are right. And so what this does is it creates a situation where we understand things and we can't explain why, and so people don't believe us, and then it comes to happen, and they're like, how did you know? Are you psychic? And we're not psychic. Now this brings me to the INFJ stare, or the gaze. And there are two camps of people on this. For some people, it's very unnerving, very unsettling. And for other people, it's actually very comforting and it makes them feel really seen and understood. Both these reactions are coming from the same place, and it tells more about you than it does the INFJ. What'll happen is you'll be in a conversation with somebody or in a room with somebody, and this INFJ person will just kind of like almost disassociate, but they're looking right at you, looking right into your eyes. And it can feel like you're being studied, closely observed. And that's exactly what's happening. But it's not a negative thing. It's not even a positive thing. It's simply us taking in information. Our intuitiveness allows us to understand body language, micro-expressions, tonality, word choices, context, all these things, organize it according to patterns we already know, and allows us to draw very accurate conclusions about people's state of mind, their emotional state, their backgrounds, their histories. For a lot of people, they feel very seen and understood, sometimes for the first time in their lives, because this is somebody who's taking in all that information and really understanding it and seeing who they are and understanding what they're really about. I see this effect a lot when dealing with my coaching clients, because I'm able to understand things. Even though I haven't lived the life experience, I recognize the patterns in their behavior and I understand where they're coming from, and that's where the empathy comes in. The flip side of this is some people feel really intimidated and uncomfortable when they're looked at in this way. And I think that really comes more from, again, this person really understands me, and the person who feels uncomfortable really maybe doesn't want to be understood. Maybe their intentions are not good, their motives are not wholesome. They may be, maybe there's somebody who engages in covert contracts, and so they say and do things in a way that, like I said, are not all on the up and up. The INFJ sees right through it. They see the motives and the means behind everything they say and everything they do, and that can make you feel really uncomfortable. Really, all that's happening is an INFJ is studying you, and they're just taking in information, and it is neither good nor bad. It's like a scientist. We're just collecting data. There's no judgment behind that, but there's an understanding of who you are and what you're about. And if that makes you uncomfortable, then you really need to think about what it is that's making you uncomfortable, why you feel uncomfortable to be seen and understood. So that's my take on it as an actual INFJ telling you what's going on in our heads. We read that discomfort a lot of times, and that'll kind of snap us out of it sometimes. But sometimes we don't care. Like, we can be highly empathetic, but sometimes we're like, you know what? I just want to know. I want to study this person. I want to figure out what's going on. One suggestion I would have would be wear sunglasses. Because when you're studying somebody behind sunglasses, they don't know. So that's my quick breakdown of the INFJ stare, what it is, what it means. And if you're an INFJ and you disagree with this or agree with it, but if you disagree and you have a different take on what it is you're doing when you do this, I'd love to hear it. Put it in the comments. Let me know, because let's talk about this, because I can just give you my perspective of what I'm doing when I do this. So.